Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Unit 5, Activity 7. Make sure you have your notebook and pencil ready. You're going to be copying all these notes down. We have our traditional algorithm that we're doing today with 3 by 1 or 2 by 1 multiplication. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to start first with an example, and it is 6 times 48. Which we know from a couple of the last videos that it's the same as 48 times 6 because it doesn't matter in which order you multiply, they both equal the same thing. But in this case, I'm going to write it for you vertically so that we can do the traditional algorithm. So I'm going to do it in two different colors. I'm going to start with 48. I'm going to multiply it by 6. So the first step that we're going to do is we're going to multiply our ones. So if you look, we're going to multiply 8 times 6 first. And I'll circle it just so you can see it a little better. All right. If you know from your multiplication facts, 8 times 6 equals 48. That's perfect. So we will put our 8 down here, and we're going to carry our 4. There's going to be carrying or regrouping in all of these problems. Then, the second step I'll do is multiply my tens. So I'm going to use the 6 from below, and now multiply it by the tens because I've already multiplied by the ones. If I look, it looks like I'm multiplying 6 by 4, but really, since that 4 is in the tens place, it's 40. Okay, so just know that it's not really 4 times 6, that it is 40 times 6. And I'm going to write that off to the side to help us remember. Make sure that you get that in your notes. And now we're going to multiply. So we're going to do the 6 times 4, which equals 24. But we're not done yet because we have to add 4 to that. So 24 plus 4 is 28. So our answer will be 288. Okay, so you just have to remember that even though it looks like 6 times 4, it's really 40 times 6, but because it's over in a place value, when we write it, it starts in the tens place. That shows us that it's really the 40 times 6. Now we can go back and check it to make sure our answer is correct. There's a few ways that you can check it, so you can use whatever is comfortable for you. But to check, you can either divide 288 divided by 6, or we can just use repeated addition and add 48 6 times. And I'm not going to write them all out, I'll just include the dots. Or you could even do 288 minus 48 6 times, which is kind of like repeated subtraction. Pick whichever way you're comfortable with in checking them, and you'll be checking your answers for all of these problems. Example is going to be 73 times 8, which remember equals the same, 8 times 73. So we're going to write it vertically. Alright, we're going to start with multiplying our ones place. And we're going to write the step this time so you can write it into your notes. Multiply ones first. So we have our 3 times 8. And from your times table, you know that 3 times 8 is 24. And you know I can't write 24 down here under my equal sign. I have to do some carrying and regrouping. So I'm going to write the 4 down here and carry my 2. Then my second step is going to be to multiply my tens, which in this case you still use your ones from the lower number or the smaller number. And now we're going to do 7 times 8, but we really know that's 70 times 8. So let me write 7 times 8. And from your times table, you may know this too. 7 times 8 equals 56, but I'm not done with it because I still have to carry or add what I carried above. So 56 plus 2 is 58. So when I rewrite my number, it'll be 584. So 73 times 8 equals 584. Now we have to go back and check. So remember, you have a few options. In order to check, we can either, remember, divide. So I would do 584 divided by 8. I could do my repeated subtraction, the 584 minus 73 minus 73, 8 different times. Or I could add 73 together 8 times, which is repeated addition, but it'll get you your answer. And I'm going to draw the dots and double check my answer. So whatever you choose to do, whatever strategy is best for you is what I want you to do. I'm going to show you repeated addition, since some of you don't know how to divide yet. So I'm going to add 73 together 8 times, but I'm going to break it apart. So I'm just going to say 3, 6, 9, 12. So I'm going to write my 2 down here, carry my 1, do 7, 14, 21, 28, but I've got to add 1. So that's 292. Now I could write 73 plus 73 plus 73 over on this side equals 292, but I don't even have to do that. I can just add or double 292. So I'm just going to do 292 plus 292. And the reason I can do that is because I've already added it 4 times, and adding it 4 more times would equal 8. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Don't have to carry anything. 9 plus 9 is 18. Now I do have to carry something, a 1. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So my answer is 584, which is correct. If they don't match, then that means you've made a mistake in your either multiplying or however you chose to solve the checking part. If you divided, did repeated subtraction, or did repeated addition. Third example is going to be 7 times 349. But remember, I'm going to rewrite it, and it's going to be vertically, and the larger number is going to be on top. So let's rewrite it as 349 times 7. And in this case, we're just adding one more step. So on the 2-digit by 1-digit, we multiplied first by the ones, then our tens, and then that was it. We got our problem or our solution. But to compute this one, we have one more step where now we have to multiply our hundreds. So let's start first with our ones. So I'm just going to say multiply by ones. And this would be another good lesson for you to get your colored pencils out, or markers or pens, however you take notes best with color. And we are going to do 9 times 7. If you know your times tables, easy. 9 times 7 is 63. But remember, I can't fit it all into this space down here because only one digit will go into my 1 spot. So I have to put my answer and carry the 6 up to the top. Now I'm on my second step where I multiply by my tens. So if you'll look at it, I have 4 times 7, but we really know that it's 40 times 7. So 4 times 7, again, know my times tables, and that's 28. But for this one, I'm not finished. I have to add 6 to it. So 28 plus 6, 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry my 1, 2 plus 1 is 3. So 34 for that step. Can't write 34, can't fit it all down here. So I have to write my 4 and carry my 3. Then I'm going to do the last step, which is, and I'm going to kind of scooch it over here under our problems, multiply by hundreds. And this is a new step, so I'm going to take that 7, continue on with it, multiply it now by 3, but we know that's really not 3. That's really 300. But 7 times 3 equals 21. But I'm not finished because up here I still have the 3 that I regrouped and carried over. So I'm going to do 21 plus 3 equals 24. And now, when I write it, I'll write my 4, add my 2 in front of it, but I'm not finished because I need my comma to separate my periods. So my answer would be 2,443. And now we're going to check it. Remember, my options to check are to divide the 2,443 divided by 7. I can do repeated addition, adding 349 together 7 times, or I can do repeated subtraction where I have 2,443 and I subtract 349 7 times. But just to make it go a little quicker, I'm going to add up 349 7 times. Again, I'm going to break it apart. So I broke it up where I'm adding 349 4 times and then adding 349 3 more times. 349 added up 4 times is going to give me 9, 18, 27, 36. Carry my 3s. Then I'm going to count my 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16 plus 3 is 19. Carry my 1. Then I have 3, 6, 9, 12 plus 1 is 13. So my first answer is 1,396, and then I'm going to do it again really quick. And with the magic of this app, I was able to pause and do it really quick. So my total was 1,047. Now I'm going to add those numbers together. And with that magic again, these two numbers match up. Now on your worksheet, you can check it these 3 ways that I've told you. And there's actually one more way to check. So on this problem number 4, I'm going to show you how to check that way. Alright, we're going to do this one a little bit faster because I know you're getting used to it. So we're going to take our 1s and multiply them. 7 times 5 equals 35. I'm going to carry my 3. I'm also going to write it over here just so you can see each piece. Then I'm going to do my 10s. 5 times 4 is 20, but I have to add that 3, so it really is going to give me 23. Put my 3 down, carry my 2. Next, multiply my hundreds, which is 8 times 5, which equals 40. But I have to add the 2 that I carried, and sorry, it's kind of hard to see, so try to write a little bit neater in your notes. And that will give me 42. So my answer should be 4,235. Now I'm going to use that method, which I think will be easiest out of all the ones that I told you. And you're going to actually have to do multiplication 2 ways on your final test for this unit and on your review. You're going to use our open array. So I'm going to click it over to the next page so you can see a picture of our model. And we know it's a 3-digit by 1-digit, so you're going to have to set this up in your notebook. Alright, so let's get started. Remember, we're going to take our hundreds number, and I know that it's 800, breaking it apart by place value, plus 40, plus 7, and I'm multiplying it by 5, so that stayed the same. Now I'm going to look at my squares, and I know 800 is the biggest, so it will have the largest piece. 40 is the next, and 7 is the smallest. And then I'm going to go ahead and start my multiplying. Remember, I bring it over and bring it down. So 5 is going to multiply by all 3 of my partial products. So 800 times 5 equals, cover up my zeros, 8 times 5 is 40. Add my 2 zeros back, which is 4,000. 40 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Add the 0, got 200. And now 7 times 5 equals 35. So I am set now to do my final step, which is to add all of those numbers. Now let's add those numbers up. We have 4,000 plus 200 plus 35, and I should have written a little smaller so I could show you my carrying better. 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 0. 2 zeros plus 3 is 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. And 4 plus nothing is 4. Now when we compare our open array to our traditional algorithm, we know that's correct because both of our answers are 4,235. If one of your answers is not correct, you need to go back and check for your mistakes. Our last example is 6 times 321. We're going to write it vertically. We're going to go a little bit more quickly since you know the steps. So 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12, carry my 1, and 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1, which is 19. 1,926 is my answer, and now I'm going to check it with my open array strategy. I've set up my problem. Now I'm going to do my boxes. 300 is my largest number. 20 is my next largest, and 1 is my smallest. Now I'm going to write the multiplication facts in them. 300 times 6 equals 6 times 3 is 18. Bring my 2 zeros back. 1,800. 20 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Bring that 0 back. And then a super easy one. 1 times 6 is 6. Now I'll add them all up. With the magic of the iPad, I've quickly added that up. It's 1,926. If we compare that with our first answer where we did the traditional algorithm, you'll see that they match. We got the answer correct. So go ahead and get started on your worksheet. If you have any questions, you can re-watch the video. Remember, being independent. If you still can't figure it out, then raise your hand or sign up on the list. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.